it worked well when somebody was with me and they were on the opposite side of the spectrum, and then I came in with being the nice guy, and I
Right.
played like the good cop role. And I'd be like, listen,
Okay.
I apologize about my friend Juan. He had a
Why you gotta be his friend Juan?
Right. Yeah, but no, that's what it is.
Yo, it's Dyson Knight, and this is episode 10 of the Sup'm Show. Today we're talking force or finesse. How do you get people to do what you want them to do? Or how do you get them to want to do what you want them to do? So in a minute, we're going to be joined by Dr. Kent Bazzard, who is the greatest sports physician in the whole planet. That includes Wakanda. And also the man who always got
Mr. Juan Knowles, who is the most phenomenal flooring contractor on this planet. So get your life together. It's going to be a great show. Let me see here now. Ooh, okay, Facebook is changing up something again. I should have Juan in here. What up, bro?
What up?
what's going on, gentlemen?
Yeah. Not the Black Line. I'm the Wu-Tang. Come on now. The Backstreet Bullies. Not the boys.
I repping Kevin Conroy today, man. R.I.P. to Kevin Conroy. A lot of people don't know he's the greatest Batman voice actor of all time. Batman is a personal influence to me as a person, as a kind of mentality, and the way he carries himself, the way he behaves, and it's going to tie into what we're talking about today. I think big time.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, let's start there.
He straddles that line between, are we going to be a nice guy, or are we going to use force to get what we need? Are we going to not accept no for an answer? So so R.I.P. to Kevin Conroy, iconic Batman voice character. But yeah, bro, force or finesse. I love this topic, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, I figure it would hit pretty hard. Is it better to get people to do what you want them to do by force, or is it better to get them to want to do what you want them to do with finesse? So I find like there's a time and a place for each. You know what I mean? But a personality like me, I will always choose finesse. And because that's my personality, I don't respond too well to force. So
Gotta agree with you, brother. I'm right there with you. Finesse all day.
Yeah. So it's like, how do you play both sides of this fence? And if you on one side of the fence, how do you entertain or accept people that come at you from the, that extreme other end?
Yeah.
So that is the immediate and first challenge that's in your face. So many things in this world. If it's one thing that I say I learned from my wife, my wife is very much a type A person.
Mm-hmm.
She's a person who, if something is unacceptable, let's just say we go to a fast food joint and they got the drink wrong, like, bro, like, don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, that's a problem. And then don't kick up an attitude about changing it. Like,
right.
That's a real problem. It's going to turn into a managerial level event if you're not going to change your drink. And she responds the same way for that beverage that she would respond in, like, if we're in a bank and the bank said they're not giving us a loan or some crap like that. You know what I mean?
What about you though?
Me?
How do you handle situations like that?
So originally, in one, you guys know me. I was to the far left of that. I was the ultra nice guy. I've been that most of my life. Most of my life, I've fallen.
Ultra supersonic bionic to the fifth power to the sun. Nice guy.
Thank you, Juan. So
you're welcome. No problem. You're welcome.
I was the ultra nice guy
Super combo.
I was always trying to diffuse situation. I was always trying to turn it down. I was always trying to avoid confrontation. I was always trying to avoid physical altercation. I'm a fighter, you know. I'm a fifth degree in one system, fourth degree in another system, black belt. And I'm talking about during the time when I used to like have fights. I was an actual active fighter. I would still be the person to diffuse the situation. I would never get in fights. I always tried to avoid getting in fights. I always tried to avoid confrontation. I always tried to avoid getting angry at all costs. And it was, for me, it was always because when I rarely get angry. I've gotten angry, really, really angry, like less than 5 times in my life. You understand what I'm saying? And I can remember each of those episodes. And each of those episodes, like officials had to get involved, or we almost got arrested, or something like that. You see what I'm saying? So I was always that person all the way to that side because I always felt that it should never get to that kind of point. I don't have an off switch. And that's kind of my problem. That's kind of my problem. I don't have an off switch.
But with that personality, do you get the drink changed? Like, will they change the drink? Or you find that you just let it slide? I'll just drink.
You know when it worked well? It worked well when somebody was with me and they were on the opposite side of the spectrum, and then I came in with being the nice guy. And I played like the good cop role. And I'd be like, listen, I apologize about my friend Juan. He had a
why gotta be his friend Juan?
Right. Yeah, but no, that's what it is.
Why me though? It's 5 of us, bro. Why me?
He speaks a lot. Sometimes he speaks before he evaluates what he's really thinking. So
where the bus is, man? Hey, where the bus is, man? I'm ready to go under it.
By the way, Mom, you're looking very nice tonight. But if you would change the drink for us, we would really appreciate it. And then you get the smiles and you get the drink. You might even get extra fries. So I found the best outcome is going in that direction. However, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I've had experience with all the way to the opposite side, and that can be sometimes just as equally effective, although in that situation, you usually end up with an enemy versus an ally.
The opposite side being the forceful side.
The forceful side. Usually with the forceful side, you end up with an enemy versus an ally.
Right. Here's the thing, though. I mean, I guess reality would say, not even suggest, that some people need a kick in their backside in order to get the job done.
Hey, Dyson, most people need a kick in their backside. Not some. Most. I want to say about 98%. Go ahead.
Wait, 98 would almost include me, and I don't think I need a kick in my backside. I mean, in some things, like if I need a kick in my backside, it's because I don't want to do it, right? And then there's you have to dance around the dynamic of, do you need to do it? Let's say my job is to do it. My boss wants say, hey, the wood floor need to come up and the tile floor need to go down. I don't want to do it. I just put the wood floor down, but it's my job to change it. So even though I don't want to do it, I might act like I don't want to do it. If I don't do it, and one says, "Wait, do this or else," which is kind of a force. He ain't holding me down and blowing my hands and making me do the work. But it's a kind of force of saying, "Hey, I can fire you if you don't do the job." That's force.
You know what? Personally speaking, not to cut you off, I get into a lot of situations like that on the job site, as a matter of fact, being the owner of one company. And I have a solid 6 guys right now that been with me, to the core, that they actually know what's going on. They can be trusted. But to find those 6 guys, I run through a lot of employees, bro. And to be honest with you, I don't even run on, bro. I'll let you finish up the day, right? If you don't do what I say, I'll let you finish up the whole day. At the end of the day, when you're outside smoking your cigarette or chilling, I just hand you a check and say, listen, I'm water to come back tomorrow. Right in that.
Right. Right. So that ain't even a chance for redemption.
No, not interested. You
And
feel
see,
it? Not interested in redemption.
I feel like when you have an energy like that, I guess knowing your personality, one, would be ideal, because I had a boss like that too when I used to work at the hotel. When he's screaming and cannon and cussing and breaking plates and carrying on like a real idiot, you safe. Everybody's safe. Nobody getting fired. But the minute he goes silent, you know it's a real problem.
Yeah.
And to me, that's finesse. I'm not sure you as an executioner, so I don't know how you can. I don't know how there's any comeback to that. How do you determine that this person deserves to be fired? Like, this is the end. Versus maybe this person is having a bad day. Maybe this person is stressed out. Maybe this person just made a bad call. You know, how do you dance around that dynamic?
For me?
Yeah, you.
Okay.
Or you don't?
Well, there's a difference. There's a difference between putting somebody on timeout, and as grown adults, we shouldn't have to put people on timeout, but sometimes that's just what it is, right? Personally speaking, for me, when it comes to the point where my employees' ways and actions is actually affecting my company financially, you understand?
Right.
It's time for you to go.
Yeah.
Because when things go wrong, the customer ain't looking for you. My name is on the business, not the employee. You feel me?
Right. Right.
Another thing I don't tolerate is if I catch an employee stealing from me.
Okay.
If you steal from me, you gotta go. There's no. Go ahead.
Let me make this a bit more real. What if this is your partner, a business partner, whatever, and you can't fire them?
Okay.
But it costing you. It costing you either financially, it costing you time, it costing you your mental stability. It tapping in on your sanity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And your ability to be the best person that you need to be to deal with whoever else you need to deal with in your life. Like, how do you? What is there to do when you can't fire somebody?
I can't put a monetized number on mental freedom. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but one, you can't fire. Let's say you can't fire your old man.
I'm going to get there right now.
Right.
No. I'm not even interested in firing. I will have a meeting and handle it the best way I can to get myself out of that contract completely between me and that person, business partner or not. Because, go ahead.
So finesse.
Yeah. Finesse all the way. I cannot, bro. It's not a healthy workplace when you're not comfortable with one another working, whether it be a partnership. It's not. It's just not good for business, bro. Your business cannot strive on success, being that way. Personally speaking, I'm a type of person that will throw in all the cards to get out of a stressful situation.
So that's
I don't care what it is.
I find that interesting.
That's just my personality.
But I find that interesting, Juan, because I feel like, and we said this before between me and you, we said that you and I kind of switched roles as we got older. Because I believe,
we did.
I've become a lot more, and we using these words. We kind of keep using these words, finesse and force. But what we're really talking about is being direct to the point, not giving any options or alternatives, being straightforward and to the point, and in some cases, maybe even being aggressive. Right? That's what we're talking about when we say force. Meaning we're not accepting no, and we're not accepting anything else but what our desire is. Right? Now, in the business scenario, especially if it's a business partner, you tend to meet that person, your business partner, on the same level that you're on. You're supposed to be on equal levels. Even if I'm the majority shareholder, we're still kind of on the same level. But when you're talking about employee now, that's a slightly different approach. And while I agree that finesse And especially in the workspace, you want allies versus an enemy, because with finesse, you will tend to create allies. And that's sometimes where sometimes my wife and I disagree on that point initially, is the reason why I initially was always about the finesse. But one thing I was saying earlier, the one thing that my wife taught me is that, and I came to learn on my own, is a lot of times, unfortunately, our people, we don't move unless there's some force involved. And if you, they need
people
to
meaning Bahamian people or black people or male.
Both. And if they detect for 1 second that you are incapable of that forceful action, of that action that is absolute, that action that is you using every ounce of your intention to get what you desire out of the scenario, they're going to take advantage of you. And most likely you're not going to end up, in a lot of cases, you're not going to end up with what you want with. They're going to take advantage of your finesse. And they're going to get casual and comfortable.
Right.
And you're gonna end up with decreased productivity. I ain't even reached relationships yet. We still talking about work. We ain't even reached relationships yet. But as far as I found that being an employee now of probably my largest team, I guess, ever, approximately 20-something people, you have to be very careful. I had a scenario, not to bring things public, but I had a scenario last week where an employee said something in a tone that I didn't appreciate.
You ain't sent them to your human resources department over here?
We don't have none. It's just out the door, bro. So
outside.
So I happen to like my team. And like I said, I'm still the person I am. I still prefer not to have altercation, not to have confrontation.
For sure.
Because again, my off switch, especially after my mom died, my off switch is like broken, bro. Right? So I prefer not to have that. Plus, it's just nicer.
Yeah.
If we could work well together, if we could have a good relationship while we're working together. So when this person said what they said, the way they said it, and my wife hates when I does this. We business partners in this venture. I stop and I think about my response, because I wouldn't even respond to the person if they directly speak to me and they say, what do you think about what I said? And I would say, I'm not ready to talk to you yet, because I need to think about what I'm about to say.
Right.
Because once I say it, that's it. There's nothing after that. Right?
Yeah.
So I thought for a couple of hours, almost half a day before I responded to this person.
It's a long time.
You see what I'm saying? And again, the situation allowed that. And if the situation doesn't allow that, and I have to respond right away, no problem. And you're probably not going to like my response if I don't get to think about it.
Right.
But I thought about it, and I gave a written response that was well thought out, well written. And you know what happened? There's no choice but to go with what I was saying. You see what I'm saying? So that was the finesse.
Did you bully them into that note? Speaking.
Huh?
Did you feel that maybe they felt that they were bullied into the situation? As far as the response,
I think that they were surprised at my response.
Why were they surprised? Because they didn't know you told me to respond that way?
Because my response was eloquently forceful.
Hey, Dyson, let me tell you something. He like this elegant word lately, boy.
Yeah.
You must be elegant. You must be elegant.
He be telling me all the time, yo, elegantly done, bro. Elegantly done.
You feel like you got well, I guess that's the situation where you can say that you got more out of the person with finesse.
So when I was face to face with the person again, I could tell they were a little uncomfortable, but I could tell that this person no longer was theoretically like in my face as far as challenging my authority of the decision I made. Because I explained the decision, I explained the position, and I said, this is my decision and this is what it is. And it was a time element in the decision, and I said, I will see you at that time.
Right.
And that was it. I didn't need to say anything else. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's either you show up at that time or you don't come back.
So here's what so far everything we've talked about has led me to believe, and I totally agree with this because I believe it too, that either way, force or finesse, you have to be willing to give up something. Either if you're using force, you have to be ready for the person walking away, right?
Mhm.
Saying, okay, I ain't letting you force me, I quit, or you have to fire me. Or with the finesse, you actually having to say, you know what, even though I may need something done right now, let me take 4 hours, 5 hours to think about this. Let me sit down and eloquently write out an entire presentation that goes through all of the steps as to why, explaining it as if you're explaining to a child, and then okay, fine, you get what it is that you want, but you had to give up your time, your energy, your brain power, stuff you could have been doing 100,000 other things, right? So it's what you're willing to give up in dealing with persons. Now in relationships, everything kind of mushed in together, like you put it in the oven and it get melted and it all intertwines. So to walk away because of one thing damages so many other things.
So in a relationship, you're expected to give a damn. You're almost obligated to. You don't have to give much of a care of your employee besides paying them their paycheck and their safety.
Yeah.
You really have to care. You don't have to care much about more than that, except that with a person you're in a relationship with, if it's a serious relationship, you're supposed to care about their well-being, their feelings,
To a degree, though. To a degree.
To a degree. I'm saying you're supposed to conduct yourself in a manner that protects that or that has that in mind.
Let's get crazy, man. Let's say a girl. Let's say a girl, a woman.
Okay.
Let's say it has to be a woman. Says to you, hey, I'm ready to have a baby. I don't know where you at when that topic comes up mentally, what you prepared for. And let's say the woman, because of her biological clock, she says, no, this has to happen now.
Yeah.
And there's holes poked and the birth control goes out the window. She takes the force route. The birth control goes out the window.
Who takes the force route? Who takes the force route?
The female.
Okay.
The female takes the force route. Yeah. We're not even gonna talk about the male taking the force route. The female takes the force route. When you are faced with a situation like this, I think it's gooey. When it get real gooey now and real serious, where it ain't something you can just easily walk away from or easily stay involved in when you back up against the wall. Now, what happens in a situation like that? I guess we could simply say, let me take out the simple part of it so we can get it a bit more deep. You can simply say that the girl is wrong, the woman is wrong for forcing it, right? But what would be I wouldn't say retaliation, but what would be the defense mechanisms left for the partner in a situation like that?
The male?
Yeah.
Well, may I?
Go ahead, sir.
When you talk about force as far as a baby, that's what we're talking about here, right?
Yeah, she forced you to get her pregnant.
Listen, you cannot approach a situation like that like it's a business transaction, bro. Reason being, that particular transaction is going to hang around forever.
Exactly.
Okay. So, in my opinion, I ain't got to agree with nobody else. If a female pushes that on me, I want out of the relationship, bro. I want out. Reason being, right? If you're not financially stable, first and foremost, because let's not kid ourselves. Bringing a child into this world ain't no 1, 2, 3 step, bro. You know that plays a very important toll on your finances. You know, your spiritual life. It's just so many different avenues that can just go. And 9 times out of 10, you and that female like that probably wouldn't even last. But just based on her ways and actions from jump. I'm trying to be. Trust me, I have more extreme ways of saying this, and I see a little smirk on Kent's face. Does he know I want to go in, but I don't want to go in because I know people watching, whatever. But,
go in,
bro. You don't want me to go in, bro. Trust me. You don't want me to go in. Stop it.
I wanna hear how women, because how it forces you to get her pregnant. I need to hear that.
But see, at the same time, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
At the same time, Dyson, a woman can't force a man to do nothing he don't want to do.
Y'all married, right?
I am. And you want, hold on, but you want to know something though? Check this out. I'm married 20 years.
And you've never been forced to do something you don't want to do in 20 years.
Hold on. Now, if we're talking about when we're in our younger stages of life, of course.
Is it force or finesse?
No. I'll say finesse. But listen. Okay, let me go in. Let me go. Since y'all want me to go, let me go.
Right?
Right now, you're forcing me, not finessing me. Y'all like that? Check it out. Right? If I gotta be forced into a situation, bro, that's not what I naturally want to do. You know, personally, being forced into anything, bro, is not good for nobody, bro. That's not. When you're forced into a situation, you lose a sense of who you are, bro. Does that make sense?
Powerful.
You lose a sense of who you are, bro, because now you're doing everything to what that other person perceives you to be or wants you to be. That's not who you really are, bro. Now, there's compromise in a relationship. I would think that'd be a better word. It's compromise all day. But if you want to do something just to make somebody happy, just because you're afraid of losing that girl or she's afraid of losing you, so you're doing certain things, that's just being I don't know, that's just being that's crazy, bro. It's in my world.
So
I still feel like that's finesse.
A woman can force a man to get her pregnant by saying that I mean, I have heard it. I don't know if y'all have ever heard anything like this, and this is big, back in the day.
Go ahead.
Because I have more children than y'all, but
yes, you do.
but you hear, okay, not even related to me. You hear the talks where the woman would say, "It's okay to climax within me. I'm on the pill."
That's finesse, though.
That's finesse, though, guys. Listen,
no, that's lying.
You know what that is?
That's lying.
It goes back to our episode. It goes back to our episode number 3, penis control.
Okay.
Penis control, bro. When you're in that particular sexual situation, right? That's when the finesse is at its all-time highest, bro. Believe me, because all you're thinking about is releasing. Where you gonna release? Most men, not saying all, most men could care less, bro. And in that particular situation, you just all engulf in the moment, bro. So you're liable to do anything she say in that moment.
Right. Well, let's take it. Let's take it from there. Then let's say that the finesse is happening now, and the wife or the husband is using a pleasuring moment to say, "Hey, can we get a new fridge?" or "Hey, can we buy a new car?" Right?
There's no negotiation. There's no negotiation on sex, bro. You negotiate with terrorists.
No, I'm not saying that it's.
You negotiate with terrorists, sir. Do you?
I got you.
Can't negotiate
All
with
right.
terrorists?
Okay. So move the sex element. Move the sex element. Let's say this is a husband and wife situation or a serious relationship situation, and you're investing together, and one of the other wants to buy. Let's say Kent wants to put a new
Yeah,
turbo
thinking for once.
engine. Yeah, he wants a new turbo engine inside the car that he just put a old turbo engine in, and he decides that no, the engine needs to be turbo and new. That has to be a discussion in the household, or is that a situation where he could just go get his turbo engine and worry about um, what the wife has to say about the finances later? Do you use
All,
finesse or force?
but all types of factors comes into play there, bro.
Yeah.
See, for me personally speaking, me and my wife don't have a joint account, bro.
Okay.
Our account is not joint. In 20 years, I've never had a joint account in my life. So what I do with my money is my business. Personally speaking here, if I want to buy...
Does she put any money into your account?
No, I don't want her to. And the reason why I don't want her to is because when I want to do what I want to do or buy what I want to buy, I don't want to hear it.
But if she did put money in your account, then you
She
agree that
ain't
she
gonna
has...
do it. That's extreme, bro. She ain't gonna do it because I ain't gonna let it happen.
Saying.
I will take it out, put it back in her account. But you know what? But check this out, though, Dyson. If you're gonna be that way as a man, right? How I am,
right?
You also gotta learn to take it on the chin from her too. You can't be that way, and then when she hits you with the same exact situation, you get your personal panties in a bunch.
Do you put money into her account?
No. When she chooses to buy something for her, you can't question it. You can't question it.
Of course not. Right, but I'm trying to get the gooiness happening now, because in a lot of cases, you have situations where it be for a time being, or it be the full dynamic of the relationship, where they are sharing money, they're sharing the expenses.
3 accounts, bro. 3 accounts. Your account, her account, family account.
Let's say everything that you share. I don't have no job.
Everything that you share.
That means I can't buy nothing.
Everything you share as a husband and wife and as a family comes out of that family account. Okay? If we need to make a big purchase, we come together and we discuss what's coming out of that family account. If the family account doesn't have everything, then we can discuss who personal account is coming from to make that purchase possible.
Yeah, but what if that's a situation where you think that something you need the shed to be built, and she feels as though the money would be spent best on putting the canopy over her car when she drives into the driveway? Like,
well, she can go into a personal account and buy a canopy.
So you made the decision.
Yeah,
you. No. Why should I make the decision?
The family
you have your own account to do your personal things. Does that make sense?
You use own money.
No, I don't have to force her. That's your account. Go spend it. I don't have to force you. That's yours. Now, here's where the conversation comes into play. If you got to tap into that family account to do a personal purchase, then we got to speak.
Yeah.
The conversation only comes up when you're dealing with that family account to do personal things. If you're doing personal things and you're dealing with your personal account, there's nothing to talk about.
What you was gonna say, Kent?
I was gonna say, I feel like in that scenario, when you're talking about force, it sounds like force for me would be if you try to put me at some type of ultimatum. Mm-hmm. If my wife were to say to me, if you don't do this, then this, or if she does something that's directly against either my will or my agreement. Now this is a small issue, but we got a sofa for another room, and it was like we had an old sofa, and then we got a new 2-piece, right? And I said, well, let's give away the old sofa. She didn't want to give away the old sofa. She wanted the 3 sofas. She's watching this, right? She wanted the 3 sofas.
Right.
I didn't want 3 sofas. I think 3 sofas is dumb. So I didn't see why we needed 3 sofas. So we got into a big to-do about 3 sofas versus 2 sofas, right? This is probably the most firm with me she's ever been on a decision on something she wants. I don't think she's ever been firmer with me on something. Not even the children, bro. She's never been so firm with me on something she wants.
She wants 3 sofas. Right.
And you know what? I came home and I saw the 3 sofas and I got mad. I said, we decided, I said, I don't want 3 sofas. Eventually, I let it go. She stood her ground, and I said to myself, is this worth clashing about? Is this worth, you know what I mean? Going with her force versus my force, trying to see whose force is stronger. Like, is this worth it? Sofas? So it took all of a day for me to get used to the sofas, and I don't even think about it. So, I mean, the point is, she got what she wanted using force. Right? I mean, it wasn't an ultimatum, but nevertheless, she stood her ground on this.
Hey, Ken, that was finesse, bro. Go ahead, though.
That was finesse?
That was finesse. That was force. Go ahead. That was finesse.
I feel like...
That was undercover finesse, but go ahead.
But for something else, I don't know. I might have been, let's say she wanted to paint the walls lavender or something.
Lavender, then what?
Oh, I'm painting the wall back myself.
And then you go to work and you come home with lavender. Now what?
Then we have a problem. And we have to address...
But see, that's just it.
So now I have to turn my force up, and that's going to be a problem.
Okay. Agreed. But check this out. Sometimes, not in your situation, I don't know, because that's your situation. Sometimes you let the most minute things slide. Women have a habit of pushing the envelope, bro.
Absolutely.
They will push that envelope to see how much more they can get over on you. And then another thing which you said, Dyson, if I may touch on, you get sometimes women will say, oh, you do this and I'll do this for you and I'll promise you sex. Bro, I'm not negotiating on nothing sexual, bro. You want to know why? Because that's what you're doing that regardless. You're doing sex regardless, bro. I'm not negotiating on a sexual act with my wife. Period.
No, I agree. No, I agree.
Yeah, bro. Because guess what? If it takes me doing something for you to get you in the mood or to get you to reward me with sex or whatever, I don't want you. Period. Because divorce immediately. But you know what that tells me personally? You aren't really feeling me. And what you're really doing is that when you want something, you turn it up to 11. Personally speaking, it may not work for y'all. That's how I feel, bro. You can't reward me with no sex.
I agree with that. I agree with that too.
So I want to touch on.
I rather we not have sex at all.
Yeah, I want to touch on how force and finesse works in situations that are a bit more emotional, or it's kind of physical, but it's internally physical. Let's say I wanna watch. My day off. I want to use my day off to watch Netflix all day, right? But all the clothes dirty, and not one clean jockey or one clean panty is in the whole house. All clothes dirty. I know the right thing for the household is to not watch Netflix, to wash the clothes. But washing clothes isn't my thing. It's not my contribution to the household, right?
Do you put on the underwear?
No, I go commando. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No cargo commando. Right?
No backflips on stage with your commando, buddy.
So it's not my thing. It's not my contribution. I contribute in different ways inside the household. Is it would it be wrong of my significant other to say, you are not, you can't watch Netflix all day. What kind of man are you trying to be? Where you know all the clothes are dirty and all you want to do is watch Netflix on. So instead of seeing the TV when I sit down to watch Netflix, I see all the dirty clothes in the place of the TV, and the TV is nowhere to be found. So this is a forced situation. This is just hypothetical, right? TV is gone, and in place of the TV is all the dirty jockey and panties. So
this is a real. Hold on now. This is an imaginary scenario, or this is a real scenario?
This is imaginary.
Okay.
It's imaginary. Okay. But yeah, I'm switching up some things that I know can be very true.
Cool.
So you don't have your choice is taken away from watching TV, and your only possible choice is to not do anything. Don't watch any dirty jockey or pants, and or wash the clothes. You know, TV. That choice is being taken away. So when your choice, your personal choice that you can do with your personal self is taken away, I don't even know if that's a question that I need y'all to answer, because to me it's so obvious. All the clothes getting burned up, and ain't nobody got no jockey and no panties. Because I'm not gonna allow myself. Well, tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe you can tell me if I'm wrong. I'm not gonna allow myself to be. How would I say this? God gives me the right of choice.
The right to what?
So to choose, the right of choice, to choose what I want to do in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Then how is it? How is it that somebody else is more powerful than God?
I feel what you're saying. And I agree with you to the point where you have to be very careful about, and I'm going to say this generally speaking, but at the same time, kind of specific to the three of us, because we have some similar personalities. But men like us don't take well to being forced.
No.
As nice as I am, at least as nice as I think I am, or at least as nice as I've been, I don't do well with being pressured or forced.
Or bullied.
Or bullied.
Yeah.
Or threatened.
Mm-hmm.
Or what's the other word you use? Or negotiate with. I feel like negotiating with sex is pretty much bullying or threatening.
Yeah.
But I don't take very, because to me that's being a little bit more forceful, and to me I don't take kindly to that in a relationship scenario, because I think you should avoid force as much as possible from both sides when you're in a relationship. I think there should be not even finesse, that should be cooperation. And whether that works out because of finesse, fine. I'm always the type of person where my goal is always to benefit from every scenario. Whether person's outside or near me or inside see it or not, I am always going to benefit from the scenario one way or the other, right? So I don't take kindly to being forced. So you have to be very careful. You have to be very careful about trying to force people or force a person to do something that you want them to do, or making them feel pressured. Because again, what you get is resentment.
Yeah.
What you create, instead of an ally, and I keep saying this because it comes back to this every single time. Instead of creating an ally, you create an enemy. And when you create an enemy, if they end up doing it anyway, or they end up doing it because of what the action that you did, or whatever condition you created to force them to do it, when it comes time for them to have your back, they're not gonna have your back.
No.
but when it comes time for them to care for you, because we're talking about a relationship. I don't need that stuff from my employees. I don't need them to have my back outside of the workplace. You know what I mean? I don't need them to care about whether I ate dinner tonight or not. I don't need them to care about my sex life. I don't need none of that.
Right.
But from a person in a relationship, you expect these type of things. You expect this person to behave in a certain manner when you're not around. So when you force, and a lot of people don't understand this, and there are a lot of men who live in situations where not always because they're weak, but there are a lot of men that are more agreeable than other men. Just had this conversation today, and my wife is standing right next to me when I had this conversation. A group of us friends were out for a family function this afternoon. All right. And I forgot how we got to talking about his wife, but he said something about, yeah, man, happy wife, happy life.
Oh boy.
And I raised my eyebrow. My wife is standing right here. And she's online. She can tell you. She's standing right next to me.
Mm.
I raised my eyebrow. And Omar was next to me, Juan. He raised his eyebrow.
Yeah.
And I said, bro, good luck with that.
Yep.
Because I don't agree with that. And my wife looked at the dude dead in the eye and said, nope, it's happy spouse, happy house. Yep. And I went like this. I said, there you go. Right.
She's correct.
And he said, the dude was like appalled.
Dumbfounded.
He said, no, that's crazy. What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. Everybody knows it's happy wife, happy life. Yeah. I said, no, bro. He said, but that don't make any sense because only one person getting satisfied. I said, no, you ain't listening. If she says happy spouse and I say happy spouse, we will have a happy house. I said, what you're talking about is one-sided. You said happy wife. I said, in your scenario, only your wife is happy. You're not happy.
That's a dumbass nigga y'all was talking to. Go ahead.
He said, nah, bro. He said, but dude, he said, nah, bro, he said, you're brainwashed. That don't exist.
What?
I said, dude, I'm sorry.
See why I can't be home and I ain't a part of this function. God smiles, bro.
I said, we almost got into it, Juan. I mean, this close.
Really?
The wife gave me, she was like, so I said, bro, yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
I would have gladly intervened on that if I was there. Yeah, can't go to the car, right? Let me make you understand.
I said, if that works for you, then what I'm saying don't matter. I said, if that works for you, but I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. Because he was going on about how he was stressing, how he sounded like she was forcing him to do something.
Of course.
Right? She was, right. And he came over to complain almost proudly. Listen to what I just said. He came over to complain with pride about how his wife was forcing him to do something.
Because he wants you, because you know what? He is expecting you to agree with him.
Right. I was going to say, bro, these women, man, I say, no, bro. I say, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that ain't me. That's you, buddy.
I say, I'm sorry to hear that. And my wife was right here. Yeah. And she said to him, look him straight in his face and said, nah, bro, happy spouse, happy house. You see what I'm saying? So if that works for him, the point I was making is, if he's in a scenario and he's happy, beautiful for you, bro.
That's just it, bro. That's just it. It's a false sense. He is the most miserable dude on the face of this earth.
That's what I'm saying. One day, one day when she raised that envelope, she may be moving that envelope a millimeter a year. She may be moving that envelope a millimeter a year. But one day is going to get somewhere. Mm-hmm. And the dude is going to explode.
Yeah.
Because they've never, he's built up all his resentment.
Yeah.
He's built up all of these years and years and years of, I don't want to say oppression, but it's pretty much oppression, right? And you explode and you react in a way, and when you do react, she's going to be shocked. She's going to be surprised because she's never heard that the slightest bit of protest from you. So when you react, she is going to be extremely surprised at your reaction. And who knows what can happen from that? Anything can happen from that point.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you feel men kind of have to finesse their wives to do, or have
Sex.
for?
Sex.
That's a shame.
Let me share a quick story. What happened to me 2 days ago? Not happened to me, but what I was in a scenario. So being a flooring contractor, I was in Boca Raton. I did a measurement for a floor. So when I call a client, I show up over there. Just a husband's home. This guy, beautiful home, bro. Guy looked to be about in his late 50s. So me and him had a little time. We small talk. I measured the whole unit, whatever. Came upon a price. And then the first thing you're going to tell me, see, you got to listen. This is how you know a dude is so brainwashed that he don't even know what to do, bro. But check out this unfolds. So he tells me, oh, the price is a great one. I love it. I've seen your work. You were highly recommended. But I can't make any decision until the boss get here. So I was like, oh, the boss. He's like, yeah, the boss, man, the wife, the boss. I said, oh, okay, you work for him? He's like, no, man, check this out. So about 10 minutes, gone by, I had a car pull up. He started sharing, oh, the boss is there. The boss is here. Come on, let's go talk to the boss. Bro, she walked in with the most miserable duck face out of this world. I said, good afternoon, how you doing? She said, hey. And he's like, so I was telling Juan here, I can't discuss nothing but the boss. She looked at me, she's like, the boss? She looked at me like this, look at him, walk in the room and close the door. And they ain't come back out, period, bro. So she's in the room. He's like, yeah, bro, sometimes they like that, man. You know what I mean? I was like, no, I don't know what you mean, sir. I don't know. I don't have a fucking clue what you're talking about right now. He's like, yeah, man, sometimes, they get like that. So I said, let me tell you something, sir. I said, listen, you older than me. I don't know how you conduct your life, right? A word to the wise, which you should be advising me. Like, she not happy, bro. That's not a happy woman, period. He's like, yeah, but I do this and I do that. I say, bro, that don't mean nothing, bro. That means nothing. Somewhere along the line, she don't even want to, bro, the look on her face, it kills her to even come home. I saw this in the space of 10 minutes, bro. The lady ain't even greet me, bro. But you know what it is, though? It plays a very important role. This dude was so overly simpy, if that's even a word. Soy boy, so to speak. Right? To the point that she already lost respect for him, bro. She lost. And unfortunately, when it gets to that level, you will never get it back, bro. And that's when the negotiation and finesse comes into play from her point of view to get things for you. Now, don't get me wrong. Dudes like him going to do it regardless. Because like Ken say, they can't fathom the idea of happy spouse, happy house. Because in his mind, he feels happy wife, happy life. But she don't give a F about him, bro. That's one scenario. Second scenario, my neighbor right now. Every time you see this dude outside, bro, straight complaining. Oh, man, the wife, this and the wife. You can't even ask this dude how he doing, bro. I'd be like, yo, bro, what's going on? Well, the wife, this is, I'm like, bro. like my nigga, I asked you how you doing, bro. And then guess what? When his wife come downstairs, the most disgruntled, miserable soul on this earth, bro. This dude, I say, bro, man, we need to go and get a drink. I said, we need to go and get a drink, man. Listen, catch a drink? Catch a drink? Man, you crazy, bro? I come back in the house with alcohol on my breath, man. I'll be on the couch. What?
You need one of them. You need to borrow one of your couches then.
Borrow couch. Not my couch. Can't got a couch to give away.
I got like 4 couches in my house, bro.
But the point I'm trying to make here, gents. The point I'm trying to make here is this, right? You can't allow, and this goes both ways. You can't allow anybody to make you so miserable within yourself, bro. Life is short, bro. And sometimes certain things ain't worth fixing, bro. The problem with men, By nature, we're fixers. We want to fix everything, bro. But we have a problem with walking away from stuff that's not good for us sometimes. We need to walk away, learn to walk. Because guess what? Women have no problem with walking away, bro, like that. They'll walk away. They will walk away as fast as your eye can blink, bro. Why? They'll walk away like this? Because there's always a simp dude out there that will attempt to fix any issue she have going on, good or bad. We men, we could build ourselves to a level 10 times over. And we still got to prove our self-worth, bro.
One of the things I say all the time is that I'm not trying to force anybody to do anything, which is why I stand so strongly on not being forced. The fact of the matter is you have two personalities. One go want 2 couches, one go want 3. And that it wouldn't make any sense to one that I don't see why I can't have 3. You have the room for it. I don't see how many butts we have to sit in all 3 of these couches. So why have more than 2? In Ken's situation, he came home and met the couch there, right? So he didn't have to do no manual labor. He didn't have to put the couch together. He didn't have to lift it to the front door. You know, she handled it. I think that's great. That's brilliant. But in a lot of situations, the man is being forced not to only have the 3rd couch, but to also go to the store and pick that flicking couch out. To come home from work early to meet the flicking movers, to assist with bringing that couch inside the house. And then when it's soiled, he has to be the one to flip and clean it, right? So my thing is, like, I prefer, you're going to have to finesse me with that because there's going to be a whole ton of things that I don't want to do. But what I do want to do is I do want to respect your position on it, your desire to have it, right? And we can talk about it and I'll even see like, well, do what you want to do. But when I say do what you want to do, that means when I come home, let me meet the couch there. Don't ask me what color I like. Because then you kind of like, you're forcing me to take part in this thing that I don't want to do. And forcing does, if I leave this conversation today, I want you to understand that I honestly feel like if you, God does not force you. I throw in force straight out the book, right? Like force should not exist. Anytime you force somebody into a situation, hey, thank you, Severance. The Christmas tree is my mom's Christmas tree. It's been up for a year.
Hey, guys, he thought you did something festival and shit.
I do that. But Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Hey,
trying to get my boy points for something he didn't do.
I was gonna say something, but I said let me leave it alone because I
we have that up from March, okay? We've been up from March, bro.
I don't know.
I'm gonna try to do a caroling, a live caroling with this tree in the backyard so it can serve a purpose. But yeah, but see, and then like I know it's difficult for women dealing with men like me and Juan, right? Because because we don't stare easy. Like ain't no staring fluid inside our wheel. You have to get that wheel to turn. And but I don't want to do the tree in the story, but it's like okay, because I'm weird. Like even Christmas, like I feel forced in the Christmas season because I feel very, very forced because my thing is the whole gift giving thing. Like I need things to be practical. I need things to have purpose, and I need things to have a reason. And women who I know, they are very they romanticize life. Yeah.
You need a rhyme and reason. You need a rhyme and reason behind all your actions.
Yes.
Same here.
Yeah, yeah. But life kind of glows and glitters and flowers of bloom. You know, and even if you cut the rose, it should last forever because it's in a magical glass and petals fall off every year because you haven't found your true love's kisses yet. Like things like that. You know what I mean? Like we have
That's
the
what my boy almost sound like a poet just now. He's like poet,
I
poet
get that
ass
from
Dyson
Disney.
Knight.
I get that from Disney. But
Boy,
at the
hey,
same
you know
time,
how the Disney movies go now. Watch yourself.
yeah, but at the
That's
same
so.
time, and this is where it gets kind of like I would never give myself to be the most right person on the planet because at the same time I don't want a a well I don't want a forceful woman. Um, I do want a delicate woman, but I don't want a pushover woman.
No.
You know what I mean? And
And you know what? We get a lot of flack for that because it's usually the impression when men say what you're saying is that we want a woman that we can control, and that's not it at all. Because I cannot
no,
control, and one says it all the time. You can't control no woman. You
Nope,
no,
can't.
you cannot.
You cannot stop your wife from having sex with some random dude on the street. You can't
Nope,
do it.
right?
So
cannot
No,
do
so
it.
so you can't. So controlling a woman is an illusion at best. And
right.
dudes who achieve that usually achieve that through physical force.
Yes,
You understand what I mean?
yes.
Which
And
we don't
fear, and
condone.
even still, sometimes those women, but still, you still can't
Yep,
control it. So
yep.
a lot of times the impression is our dream woman is somebody who does everything we say. To me, that's a boring woman. I don't want a woman like that. I want a woman. I want a woman who can evaluate my decisions, who can
Right,
contribute, who can
right.
contribute to who can make decisions with me on the house, say the sofa or the paint on the wall or whatever else it is. And me and my wife have a decent system. Most that works most of the time. Nothing
Hmm.
works all the time, but a lot of time it works because we usually discuss things first and come to an agreement before we action something. You know
Right.
what I mean? And that's usually how we do it. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I'll be straight up and honest. A lot of times we'll make the decision, and then the person who's supposed to make the action is me. And a lot of times her haste is a little bit higher than mine. right, right. She she
Right.
she she thinks, picking up the spoon is very, very important. It must be done today. And I'm like, I'm in no rush to move a spoon. I think
Yeah.
it's
In
I
the
don't think
next
it's
7
I
minutes.
don't think it's important.
But you know what? That's just men in general.
That's general. Yeah,
The
yeah.
majority, that's men in general.
Our priorities is be a little different
Yeah.
with certain things, and that usually leads into a problem. But nevertheless, men don't, and I'm going to say this for all the women that hear this. Most real men are not interested in controlling a woman. You're not interested in that.
But
You
you
want a
can't do it.
woman. You can't do it. It's
You can't
pointless
do
trying
it,
to do
bro.
it. What we want, most of us real men want, is a woman who we can make decisions with and who respects my finality and my decision.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, and I always talk to the men. I'm talking one direction. I always talk to both ends. There's another side, flip to the coin. We as men have to be strong enough to say, if I make if I make a decision that she advised against, and I say no, we're gonna do this, and I action that, and it doesn't work, I gotta be man enough to say, you know what, you was right.
He was right. Yeah.
Right.
I shouldn't have done that. Like it made more sense what you said, and I should have done that. You understand what I mean? And that
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
Totally.
means that's part of that happy house thing, bro. Like when you have a relationship like that, the house is happier for a longer period of time. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's gonna be perfect all the time, but once you have that's what the word partner means. You're supposed to have a teammate, bro. You're supposed to have like you understand what I'm saying? You're supposed to have
I
somebody
totally understand.
who's like, dude, well, I was going to say Jordan and Pippen, but they don't get along right now. But I'm saying like a teammate who respects your lead, but is also able to advise you
Or
on things
call you out. Or call you out when you're making an unwise decision.
Exactly, on things you don't know, and call you out when you're doing
Call
garbage and be like, no, whether I like it or not, because I don't like when my wife call me out. But guess what? I rather call me out than not call me out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say this for her to hear. But I don't like when she called me out. No one likes that. Nobody likes that. I hate that. But when she does, and she's right, because sometimes she's not right. But when she's right, it's like, you know what, Ken? She's right. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So men appreciate women like that, women. And we don't want to be bashed over the head. We don't want to be forced. We don't want to be bashed over the head with it either. You can be direct without being forceful or finesse or trying to finesse me and trick me.
I wouldn't add trick into the finesse along with the finesse side. I think trick is more on the force side. Trick is on the force side.
This is why I always said from jump with Ken too, but we always say, this is what I say. A lot of men out here think once they marry or, get with the girlfriend or in a long-term relationship, you own that. You don't own nothing, bro. The truth of the matter is, I'll always say this, and many men, I get so much pushback when I say this, I get men getting their feelings. Men so emotional nowadays, bro. Check it out. I tell them all the time, it's never yours, bro. It's your turn. It's never yours. It's your turn. Reason being, whenever she decides to take that elsewhere, whether it be emotionally, spiritually, sexually, mentally, whatever, it's nothing you can do, bro. Nothing you can do. And even if you stalk her, try to tell her the ways or how the error of her ways or whatever, if she is not feeling you anymore, it's nothing you can do, bro. And 9 times out of 10, when a man try to enforce those type of things onto a female and she happens to get back with you, she still ain't feeling you, bro. She back with you for other reasons. Yeah. Trust me on that, bro. She come back for other reasons. She don't come back because and 9 times out of 10, they're not sorry because what they do, they're sorry because they got caught. Keep that in mind. Both ways, men and women.
When I was like 18 to 25, somewhere around there, mm-hmm. I used to think that I could force a woman to love me.
No, you cannot.
I used to think that I could do things or behave a certain way or create an environment where she had to love me, even if she didn't, even if she stopped, I could somehow change. I could somehow reverse that by doing something. And men who think like that can murder, bro.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
And then when they're done, kill themselves also.
I'm telling you, men who think like that can murder. That thing can get you in prison for life.
Yeah.
That type of mentality.
And then look at it like this. And once you go down that route, gents, you in jail or whatever, she's still gonna do what you want to do. You're listen, time and time again. I read articles from NASA that they post on WhatsApp. I read articles from around the globe and what's not that men delete themselves, suicide or whatever, over a situation, bro. Listen, bro, men need to learn. Stop making temporary situations a permanent solution, bro. Y'all get that? When you delete yourself, when you kill yourself or commit suicide, there's no coming back from that, bro. That's permanent. But I can promise you, if you just weather the storm just a little bit longer, bro, that situation that you're going through, you're going to look back on that and laugh, bro. Yeah. But you got to go through it. You got to tough it out, and you got to go through it. The majority of the time is most men ain't built like that, bro. They come from a I don't know. I can't even say era. They come from a situation where they feel as if once a woman leaves or she decides to do X, Y, and Z with the other guy, their whole world comes and crumble, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We all thought like that at some point in time in life, because we all had to go through something to make us who we are today. But you should have enough confidence within yourself and enough purpose within yourself, enough drive within yourself to realize at our point in life, in our 40s, approaching 50s, that these things happen uncontrollably. These things happen to Jeff Bezos, bro, multi-billionaire. So for us, dude, anything can happen. The thing is, what do you do with yourself after this happens? How do you pull yourself together and keep the pieces together and keep it moving? Because they love to see broken men. The world loves to see broken men, bro. Not even women. The world in general love to see broken men, bro. They don't want us talking right here, negotiating with each other, building, a strong mindset that when things happen, oh, Dyson, you going through this? Man, don't worry, I got you. You can't. I got you. They don't want that, bro. They want the separation. Because the more you separate us, the more they can conquer us, bro. That's just how it is. When the Vikings and the enemy come knocking at the door, there's only one set of people that defend, bro, and that's men. You do away with the men, they control everything. That's it.
Yeah. I think what I want to say on this topic, in conclusion, if I may, is forcefulness when dealing with people, especially in relationship, is a very final interaction.
Mm-hmm.
It could very well quickly and possibly be a final interaction, meaning this is your last move, right? However, finesse, there's so much more beauty in finesse. There's patience in finesse. There's a higher level of communication, trying to figure out how to communicate your wants and your desires to another person. And to get, because the objective in finessing that person or finessing that situation is to get them to want to do what it is you want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
And when someone wants to do what you want them to do, then they become I think that, one, to become more giving. Two, they don't feel bad about what they're giving.
Mm-hmm.
They don't feel as though they're being cheated or they're being used and abused, because they understand why it is they're doing it. And ultimately, it's a give and take type situation. Right. And forcefulness is a one-way street. You get what you want.
Mm-hmm.
But finesse means that you're open, man. And I think relationships should be open. The communication should be open. Doesn't mean that everybody agrees on everything, but it does mean that you actually have the respect to take the time to have the discussion and the patience to go through that discussion. However many times you have to go back at it. So what y'all got, man? Dr. Bazzard, the greatest sports physician on the planet in 2020.
In the universe, bro.
Yeah, in the universe. Yeah, because I those aliens that was in the last thing, but you did a good job with them. That was dope. So what you got going on?
To close out, I would say that just remember, in my opinion, I found
your wife just brought up too. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's what I was saying earlier, and that persons will take advantage of or they'll try to take advantage of you not being forceful. It's not always the finesse, but they'll try to take advantage of you not being forceful. So I believe that your conduct as far as using force versus finesse, or we're talking really at the core of it, we're talking about agreeableness versus not being agreeable, right? And I think that at its core, using you can't use the same in the home. You can't be the same way in the home that you are in your workplace, because there are two different dynamics of relationship there.
Right.
And you have to be careful about letting those cross over. You can't use the same attitude, the same forcefulness you use with your employees with your spouse. Your spouse most likely won't take very kindly to that. Men in particular don't like being forced to do anything. That's the quickest way to get your husband or your boyfriend not to do something, is by trying to force them to do it. And again, and even if you get them to do it, they're not gonna. Oh man! Even if you're not gonna do it, you end up with resentment. Even if you do it, even if you get them to do it, they end up with resentment. And these things can have long-term effects, like we discussed. And in extreme scenarios, like you said, they can end up in physical violence and altercations. And it's a very serious thing. These things build up over time, and they end up in an explosive situation. At the same time, like my wife said, she's absolutely correct. Some people don't know that their finesse game is as good as they think it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Very important.
They don't know. They think that finesse game is good when it's really not that good. So when you're not getting a result, maybe you're not applying the finesse the way you should be, or maybe you don't have the right formula. You gotta figure out what it is. Like we said last week, you gotta speak your love language. So that guy who I spoke to today, his love language may be, having his wife tell him what to do all the time. If that's his love language, then I'm not going to force him. I'm not going to force him to change. But he sounded like he was complaining to me. But at the same time, if he's happy, I said, bro, if you're happy, then great. But he sounded like he was complaining.
Complaining and happy don't go together. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. So just remember that. Remember that you have to be cognitive or alert with which scenario you're in and how you're using it. And I think that being able to use both is useful. And it's just that making sure that you're applying the right amount of force or the right amount of finesse in a particular situation you're in. Like I said, for your employees in general, outside relationships, some more force may be necessary, especially if you're in a position of authority. You may need to be less agreeable and more forceful, right? Whereas in the home situation, you may need to be more agreeable and less forceful. So you just need to know which situation calls for what, and use them appropriately.
Normally, when someone forced you or you feel like you're being forced, it's not coming from a place personally where you naturally want to do it. And if you don't naturally want to do something, 9 times out of 10, you don't do it to the best of your ability. You do it to the best of the other person's expectations, so to speak. And then 9 times out of 10, that expectation still don't meet their, requirements.
The bar keeps moving.
The bar, listen, every time you approach that goal post, is move a little bit further. And it's move a little bit further. And what happens in a situation like that is that you will keep chasing the goalposts and you will never get to the end. Never. At the end of the day, you got to stay true to self, bro. You can't change so much that you don't even look in that mirror and recognize just a little bit of who you are anymore. Because truthfully, people that do things like that, you gradually transform yourself into what the other person wants you to be. And this is what makes you miserable. This is exactly what makes you miserable, bro. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Because 9 times out of 10, when you are trying to be something that you're not, when you're trying to meet somebody else's expectations, You lose focus of who you are. And then you tend to forget about you. Now, I'm not saying be selfish and focus on you 100%, but don't you dare forget about you either.
Yeah.
Don't forget about you, bro. Because a lot of these things cannot even function or even be possible if it ain't about you. First and foremost, I cannot run my business. My brother can't run his business. Dyson, you can't do what you do if you don't take care of your physical, spiritual, and mental health over everything, bro. It'll fall apart. And we as men tend to put everything and everybody first. Okay? And then we tend to look at ourselves and focus on us when we start falling apart.
Right.
And there's many signs that we tend not to recognize or pay attention to while we're falling apart. Because we think this is what men should do. We should be a miserable wreck. We should be, broken.
Mm-hmm.
Happiness is unimportant. Your happiness is unimportant.
Your happiness is just as important as your woman's happiness, bro. And if you're in a situation where you're not being met those needs in any way, shape, or form, whether it be sexual, whether it be mentally, whether it be spiritually, whatever it may be, I urge you to look deep into yourself and see what's missing. And you can attempt to fix something, but sometimes you need to realize that some things are unfixable, bro. And not only that, but to even take it a step further, some things are not worth fixing. Because to fix a situation, it takes two people. You cannot fix a broken situation if the other person doesn't want to meet you halfway. I can't pick up the nail, but you don't bring the hammer. It ain't happening. But I'm gonna use my fist to try to hammer that nail in, but in the process, I damage in my fist or my hand. But then you just holding the nail. It don't work that way. So you gotta analyze every situation you deal with. This goes for business. This goes for relationship. This goes for everything, bro. If it's not two individuals involved in fixing whatever you may do on a daily basis, it's time to pull out, bro. It's time to pull out. Life is short. No one's promised tomorrow. And above all else, at least you can do is make yourself happy, bro. Because that happy wife, happy life situation, no. All that means is that happy wife, miserable as hell husband. Like my brother Ken said today, the guy was on the verge of a physical altercation, bro. That's all the built up anger. That's all the built up frustration. That's all the built up resentment. He got to let it out on Ken. You want to know why? Because he can't let it out on her. And this is what drives men to suicide or putting hands on that woman because of thinking that way, bro. Take a deep breath, my brother. Release, analyze, fix. Ain't worth fixing? Let go. I'm going to leave it like that.
Yep. Well, that's the Sup'm Show, episode 10, Force of Finesse. I on Team Finesse. Thanks, people. See y'all next week. Peace.